Hey, what's up? So, as a fresh, bright-eyed gacha tuber, I decided the best possible idea would be for me to shoot myself metaphorically in the foot, live for your amusement.
Are you not entertained?
You see, one of the most consistent types of videos to make in this industry seems to be the classic should you pull video. As every good little Stockholm victim knows, the gacha is a cruel mistress that sustains itself solely on the tears of the innocent. So if you know that that's hell you're walking into, you might as well be prepared. However, I'm not like other gacha tubers. I'm different, quirky, and unpopular. So instead of making a bunch of smaller should you pull videos, I'm going back to the original sin, the Big Bang, the primordial soup that all gacha tubers are born from. Should you pull on any banner in any gacha game? This was a mistake. Over my years as a gacha connoisseur, I've noticed a trend to bash on people that like to pull from meta characters and stats. I know their heart is in the right place, but what they don't seem to understand is that sometimes stats are the waifu. Legitimate fun can be derived from either optimizing or even breaking a game. And in a genre where time is often a literal collectible resource, it only makes sense to want to pull for units that clear content more efficiently. Listen, I understand that you love your totally viable team of 4 garbage cans with cat ears, but it might also be a good idea to invest in a few good characters to help with progression. This does bring us to a roadblock though. What makes a good character?
I have no idea!
Luckily, I don't need to know in order to answer the question, because if you're watching this video, I know that you have access to the wonderful nightmare that's known as the internet. As you wander through many of the cultural touchstones of our generation, you can find what's called a tier list. Now, not all tier lists are born equal, but research and groupthink are powerful tools. You can search for multiple tier lists for your game and see if they all can collectively agree that your waifu is shit. That, or you can just go with whatever tier list you know your friends use so that bragging about pulling that top tier character feels that much more satisfying. All of this being said, power is a slippery slope. Power creep is the thing that these games often suffer from, so if all you care about is getting bigger numbers, your wallet might be in for a rough time. So it's probably a good idea to at least find one other reason to spend all of those precious gacha materials. On the other side of the spectrum, there exists the might makes wrong dropouts, really? And even though I've been joking about them, they have a solid point. For a lot of people, characters aren't just stat blocks used to flex on your friends. They're, well, characters. And it's only human to be drawn in and personally affected by a good story. Even people that swear by the meta can still use things like lore as a deciding factor in a close call. There are many different types of these plot enjoyers. Some get attached to characters that they get to know in the main story, reading all of their lore and their interactions with the other characters. Some just like the designs of the characters and the aesthetics that they have. And well, some people just enjoy a good old-fashioned plot. On the extreme end of this, I even have a friend who uses gacha games as less of a game and more of a PNG collection. That might seem weird to some, but as Uncle Demo always said, different strokes for different folks. The last main reason that you can consider rolling is meme value. Now, you might be wondering why people would spend a whole bunch of time and or money on a bad meme. And well, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like this picture. This picture right here, the scorpion in this picture is meme pulling. While some have fun optimizing, others have fun doing the exact opposite, making the game as hard as physically possible because it's funny. It's why things like Dark Souls runs with the DK bongo drums exist, and it's also why from time to time you can see characters being released and you just have to wonder, did the devs not know that they would be this bad? I've noticed that people only tend to do this kind of thing when they're about a year into their game. They already have the powerful units and some that they like for other reasons, and they might start eyeballing characters at the bottom of the tier list. Normal people would call this getting bored and then either take a break from the game or move on, but we both know that that's not happening. So at the end of the day, at least those 4 garbage cans have cat ears and go nya, right? Alright, so you've taken your notes and you've noticed the extremely subtle Triforce reference. You've done all your research on the tier list, you've read the lore, you've killed a metaphorical frog, and yet you still can't decide on whether or not you should roll. What should you do?
I have no idea!
Look, these are the three main things that I think about when I'm deciding on if I should ever roll. But everyone is different. Some people are going to weigh these categories differently, and some might find entirely different justifications for their $300 JPEG. At the end of the day, you can't spell gacha game without game, and games are supposed to be fun, or so I've been told. I understand that it can be extremely costly to roll and regret in these games, but all the research in the world won't help you unless you do some introspection and you find out exactly what fun is for you and why you're playing the game. The real answer to the question, should you pull, is whether it's for optimization, characters, memes, or something beyond my understanding, you should just listen to your heart. Because there's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. So, listen to your heart before you tell him goodbye.